That being said, I'm going to move into our concentration, and I wanted to introduce Jim Enlow. Jim is a pretty private person, but one of the things that we really do know is that Jim loves coffee, and that that keeps him going, that he's just a real geek on the computer. I'm so grateful when he comes to my place and is able to figure out a problem. In fact, half the time he doesn't even have to come to my place. He's been the owner of, oh gosh, I had it right here, for quite some time. And Jim is also really interested in music. So I'll let you tell a little bit about I'm sure he'll tell a little bit about his wild days. With that being said, I'd like to introduce our concentrator, Jim Enlow from GI Cloud Productions.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for the introduction. Appreciate it very much. Unmute myself is what I want to do. Hopefully you can hear me. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. I really greatly appreciate it. Executives, associates, guests, Robert, honoraries, thank you all. I am very privileged to be a member of this organization for the past 18 years. I can only thank Ella Smith for dragging me in, which I greatly appreciate. This organization has given me lots of business with clients for long term, and that's the kind of business we want, is long term, not just a one-time shot. We are typically in the managed service business rather than the break and fix, which I try to shy away from. That's the way we entered the business. But let me start the slideshow here if I can. Let me get that going, and I think we should be able to share the screen. Does everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're a local service provider of computer services and support for the small and medium business market, and we were established in 1987. Prior to that, I was the data processing manager, which was the term at the time, of La Costa Resort and Spa in North County for 13 years. It was before they were automated. It was the system that I first got experience with, and it was a 1,400 employee site, so there was a lot going on. We had both front and back office systems, hotel accounting, and front end portfolios, check in, check out, restaurants, point of sale systems, massive PBX system. And basically I had a staff of 10 at the time. And so we ran that for quite a while. We had a large budget. It was owned by what is now known as the Jewish Mafia back in the days of running rum over Lake Erie in Cleveland. But it was a nice group to work with. So once I left there, and the leaving was basically because the Japanese bought the place and decided that they wanted their own management, and everything had to happen by committee. So eventually that was getting nowhere, so I left and started my own business, FYI Systems, and started out application programming and building systems of different types, Commodio portfolio application for large traders buying different types of commodity assets, corn, wheat, all those kinds of things, silver, gold, etc. And so, at any rate, that was in the early 90s, 89 and up into the 90s. And as we progressed, I migrated into network support. Basically, sometimes you follow the money trail, and that's where it led. At least it led me. And so for the past 40 years, I've been delving in networks of one type or another. Started out with Novell, migrated into Microsoft, and now Linux comes into place. Unix or Linux derivation of Unix came into play, and so that's where we basically grew our business, was managing business systems of various types, anywhere from 20 to 50 users typically. And the type of industry was across the board: lawyers, doctors, manufacturers, distributors, and that kind of thing. And so now we're into 2020, and we're into virtualization mostly at this point in time with what's going on. So our target market is the SMB market, needing network system installations, upgrades, support services, remedial services, etc. We build servers, we maintain them, and we upgrade them as the requires. We have lots of experience in systems management, virtualization, and cloud computing systems. And with that, we partner with Microsoft, Citrix. We're certified Citrix, which is heavily in the software virtualization market. Most of the Fortune 5,000 runs on Citrix, and VMware and others. There's a lot of different types of platforms that the cloud actually runs on. And Hewlett-Packard, Dell, Fortinet for routers, et cetera, et cetera. We try to keep our focus narrow so we can get our expertise in those areas rather than everything under the sun. We're a Microsoft SPLA software provider for cloud systems. We're Citrix certified, and we have a lot of hardware and software innovation in our belts as far as how to keep and maintain companies as far as systems are concerned. If I can figure out where I'm at. Okay. Our services are typically on a service level basis, which means typically we contract with clients based upon the type and what kind of infrastructure that they have. We come up with basically a billable hour plan, which is billed out on a monthly basis, and we support based upon a SLA, service level agreement, that says, for instance, in an emergency situation, we will respond within 4 hours of your situation and attempt to rectify it. Our results are guaranteed. If you don't like us, we're not going to lock you in. You can go wherever you like to go. We want happy clients, not ones that are strapped into the apparatus for a long period of time. We want our results to keep them for a long time. So we do emergency services and rapid response, and we personalize every client that we have so that they know, because there is no one plan that fits all. Every client has their own way of managing IT. If you're a civil engineer and you're running AutoCAD and you need specific things with your servers, you need higher performance, you need high graphic cards, workstations versus computers, lots of memory, CPU power, etc. And so we're experienced, trained, and certified in most areas. Not all. We're not the end all of everything, but we do have lots of skills that can help you in many ways to get where you want to go. Remember, with everything, change is the name of the game. Nothing remains constant. And so we need to be competitive and stay ahead of the curve. And so the type of clients we have are civil engineering, landscape engineering. Those are the two big ones that we maintain. We have several landscape engineering companies that deal with basically municipal and real estate areas as far as housing projects and things like that they utilize. And we also deal with construction, industrial, real estate, medical, transportation, property management, accounting, and just the general service area that we support. If I can not do so fast with my, there we go. This item right here is really what I want to concentrate on today. And it is about virtualization, what that means. Is it appropriate for you as a client or not? Like I said, there's no one size that fits all, even on a cloud environment. And when we talk about cloud, it's a big word, means lots of things to a lot of people. And it means something different to me than it does to a lot of people. When we talk about cloud, everything is a cloud. Your iPhone is cloud oriented, iPads, PCs, everything is plugged into the internet, therefore you're into the cloud. What I'm referring to when I say cloud is basically a business running their systems in the cloud. The days of legacy are slowly moving forward. And when I talk legacy systems, that typically means that companies have a server in the closet or a server room with multiple servers that are typically running single applications or single operating systems, if you will, on those boxes and share them out to users based upon their use case and what those users are authorized to do and not do, as the case may be, and printing and backing up and antivirus and all those things that are associated with computing and trying to stay safe and productive at the same time. But the migration to the cloud from a business standpoint means that the servers that you have can be migrated into either a private cloud, which means a co-location that is located nearby, where we can put in a private system and maintain that private system, and you can have access from wherever you happen to be. And this is applicable, especially in today's arena where the COVID virus is putting everybody at distance from their physical work environment and trying to make them productive remotely. There are many ways to do that. You can get PC anywhere. You can get all kinds of different remote applications, but that's not really truly a cloud situation. It's basically a VPN, a virtual private network that you're locking into so that you're secured. It has an envelope around you so people can't see in and peer into your stuff that you're actually doing versus going into a public environment. So you know, there's multiple ways to do this, and I'm going to try to simplify it so that it doesn't get really complicated. So in a cloud environment, you can put it into a private location, or you go public locations such as Microsoft Azure or AWS or Google Cloud. It doesn't really matter. Anything, and a lot of those things work, but a lot of companies want the touchy-feely. They want to be able to touch those servers and touch those backups and know that they're in the back room. And those days are waning, but they're still here. Like I said, there's no force feed there. And so that's where the hybrid comes in. A hybrid solution says that you as a company, with your servers locally bound, can still participate and have your users access those resources in a multi-user fashion, okay, from a remote location. And they can get very good performance in that situation. And you can have full functionality. You can have your printers travel with you, which means if you have a printer at home and you want to print a document, it comes to you and it prints out to you locally. And you're running the resources in a location. In other words, the basic rule is keep your data close to the processing, wherever that happens to be. The slowest denominator is going to be having your data have to travel over the bandwidth of the internet that you have, and you process it locally and you send it all back. That's not what you want to do. You want to go to the colo, log in, process everything locally. So storage is local, processing is local, everything is local. So the speed that you get is there. And so once that happens, you can piggyback on your local servers, and you can still use your local servers for all your file access and everything else, or you can have that relocated into a cloud environment. And so it is a true performing system, and it works. And I want to kind of see if I can actually show you, if I can. I may not be able to, but I'm going to try. So let's see if I can actually find this thing. So here's you should be able to see this. So here, this is a virtual machine running in the cloud, and I'll minimize this so you can see it. So this is Citrix running is running in the cloud, so it's not local to me. It's sitting in a colo in San Diego. And I just wanted to show you that what I'm talking about when I say process local. So if I were to run a speed test on my system, which I did a few months ago, I'm coming up with basically 20 megabit download and 10 megabit upload. So, but over here in this speed test, which is in the colo, you'll see that when I start the speed test, okay, this is inside the colo. So one of the things, no thank you. One of the things you'll see is the ping time is extremely low, which means latency is way down at the bottom, which is a very good thing. Okay, and not only the latency is down, but you can see the download speeds. And again, this is in the colo, this is not local to me, but I'm getting 380 megabytes per second, okay, on my downloads, and almost twice as much as that on my uploads. Again, this is inside the colo, and processing is the same thing. So you can see right here, I got very low latency, very good downloads, and very good uploads. And when I launch applications such as Word, you'll see that the actual response time is pretty much as good as you would have on your desktop. And this is running totally in the cloud. And so, and this can be an accounting application. It could be anything you want. This is a client of mine that let me demonstrate their system. They have Sima accounting that we're running on their system. And I'll probably not be able to connect because I just realized I don't have a map for it. So I'm not going to run it. But basically anything runs in that environment. So let me go out of here. So there's a lot to this. And this is not for everyone. There are pluses and minuses of everything. And the big minus of cloud would be no internet. If I don't have an internet and I'm running in a non-flexible or hybrid mode, then we've got a problem and we're down until the internet comes back up. But today in 2020, we pretty much have internet just like we do electricity. Okay, it is, you expect it and it's there. The one good thing about a colo is they have gas generators. So remember when San Diego went dark that time for several days, we were still up and running. Okay, all you had to do is have a laptop that had some battery life, or go in your car and plug it into your cigarette lighter, and boom, you're up and running. Okay, I have clients that are jet setters. They go to England and they don't skip a beat. Even though San Diego went down, okay, their systems did not go down. They stayed up and run. And it's because they were in the cloud and they were hosted in a co-location. So anyway, so the cloud transformation is here. It's not right for everyone, but there's a lot of good things about the cloud. It saves on labor, and it allows you to build systems that you can maintain multiple systems simultaneously. So manpower goes down. You don't have to have 5, 2, 10, or etc. number of people maintaining those systems. They can be maintained remotely, etc. So, at any rate, so that's just another picture of the same thing. So here's what I was talking about: legacy systems. You know, they're locally housed. They have limited remote access physical on-site backups, single-purpose servers, one operating system, rigid environment, slow to change and upgrade, typically higher support and maintenance costs. The beauty of the cloud is that you can have branch offices, or you can be anywhere typically, and you have all your enterprise come to you, all your applications, all your enterprise, all your stuff, and it's all policy driven. So group policy controls what users can and cannot do. You can build virtual machines that allow you to pigeonhole workers in their own classes. For instance, you could have shop floor people or people at the front counter have certain applications to run that are not privy to the others. It's just like having a system in-house. It's the same thing, no difference. And so anyway, virtual desktops and servers, customized workloads, bring your own device, bandwidth utilization, like I just showed you. And, we have centralized provisioning and maintenance, which means, I don't have to come to your site to crank up another VM or to fix a problem. Typically that can be done remotely. And even power switches are remote now. You can flip a power switch remotely and turn something off or on and do whatever you need to do with it. This is basically what we're looking for is referrals for companies with 10 or more users. We'll consider 5, but typically the cost factor is 10 or more in order to really get into a cloud computing environment. We wish to have engineering, finance, professional, medical, industrial, and general business group. That pretty much takes care of it all. Companies that are relocating or consolidating branch offices, needing legacy or on-premise, hosted, and hybrid solutions. And so we want to be the outsourced IT support and solution for anyone you can recommend, or any of you personally, if you have that use case in play. You don't really lose anything when you go hybrid. You just add functionality, and you add from a standpoint of being able to be productive pretty much from anywhere you're at, as long as you have decent internet connectivity. So I can talk about some hypervisors and what a hypervisor is, which is nothing more than a machine, a server, if you will, that has a Linux application on it that allows that server to be delved up into multiple servers. In other words, a hypervisor basically is carving a single server up into multiple servers, so it can run multiple operating systems at the same time for different purposes. For instance, you might have Microsoft SQL Server that you're running that has a nice heavy load on it, and you don't want it to be on your domain controller or your file server. You want it to be separated. You don't want to have to go out and buy another file server for that purpose. You want to be able to use the existing file server you have because it's not being used with the utilization of 100% to begin with. None of them are. And so you carve that up and say, I want to put up a SQL server, I want to put up a web server, I want to put up a production server of a different type, or a file server, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know if I'm getting across to you as to what I'm indicating here as far as how that virtual system is set up and run, but it gives you a lot of flexibility from a standpoint of disaster recovery, a lot of ability from a standpoint of backups themselves, and the ability to make rapid change without taking weeks or months in order to accomplish that. So anyone looking for support, okay, outsource support. If you're a company that's sitting at 100 users, most likely you're going to have your own in-house processing that is going on and support. But smaller companies need assistance. We're there for that assistance. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short and say thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. And it's a wonderful organization. Keep the faith, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I am always so amazed how much knowledge is in that brain.
Well, I talk a lot, but
You make it look simple. I know that there might be some questions out there. Do you have a moment for some
I
questions?
do any and every one.
Vicky,
Yes.
I don't have a question, but I have testimonial for Jim. I want to mention that we switched to FYI Systems 2 years ago, and that's the best thing we could have done. And I wish we could have switched sooner than later. He's not only reliable, but he's there when you need him. And that's what I think is important for a good IT service. I mean, he addresses our issues immediately, even during the weekend, which is great. So I never had the opportunity to work with someone like that, and I'm glad that we did. So I just wanted to put the word out for that, and very happy to be working with him.
And Miguel, we appreciate it. We like you too.
Thank you, Jim.
I got something, Vicky.
Go right ahead, Javier.
Yeah. Hey, so we've used Jim for several years, and we're very happily on his cloud, and things are working fantastic. But prior to being on the cloud, we were with him when we got exposed to some viruses, and he would come in. I like to say under the cover of darkness, comes in, does his Jim thing, and gets us back up and running, backing up our stuff. And you know, when you walk in and you walk into a situation where you've lost all your data or there's some catastrophe, I don't know how he did it, but he came in and just made it all work. And again, now we've moved everything to the cloud. It's very reliable. We love it. I'm working from home. I've got access to everything. It's awesome. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and we like you.
Anyone else out there? Last minute for a question. Thank you, Jim, so much. Once again, really appreciate you in a busy time in your life, taking this concentration and letting us know what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.